Hello traders, today is Thursday 9th, 2025. I'm going to go over, well, I'm going to start the video with Affirm. Keep in mind, this is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes. I strongly suggest you do your own due diligence before you risk your capital in any type of investments. Let's start with Affirm. Well, not looking too good, to be honest. I think there's still a lot more room to go towards 55.6 as a level of support. But the MACD and the TSI are, and the RSI as well, are also suggesting that there might be a continuation to the downside. Also, that kind of liquidity that you have in this area actually makes me think that we might actually go all the way down towards 51.5. So keep that in mind. Once we get to those levels, whether if it's 55.6 and 51.5 or 51.6, whatever, I think that once we get to those levels, we might actually have a good opportunity to the upside again. But for now, I think we all have to be very cautious in how we actually position ourselves for trading. I just have the feeling that trading for this year, or at least for the beginning of the year, it's going to be quite choppy, just like it was in 2017 and 2018. Just be mindful of that. It just remind me of the times when Trump was pushing tariffs, and the market just was pretty complicated to trade in some cases. All right, so keep a close eye on this situation right here. Your resistance level, I'm not too worried about resistance right now. I don't think we're going to come back into this level with any momentum. I mean, we might actually come towards resistance at 61.6 and maybe retest, who knows. But I have more tendency on Affirm at least to think that we might actually go down all the way to 51.6. For now, your next level of support is 55.6. Now let's move on to another name that is a complete disappointment for a lot of us, and that is AMD. And if you take a look at the chart, looks like we are in range. But if we break 120, we're definitely going towards 119 or maybe under this level. This is my next level of support, which is 119. It looks pretty precarious. MACD and TSI look like they want to get some momentum to the upside, but this is not enough. It looks like if we have the beginning or another red day, that meaning tomorrow, we're probably going to break into this level, and we'll see how what type of reaction we get at, what is this, 118 or so, where this candle is. Let me see if there is anything that might suggest that this area might hold a little. It may be 115 or so if we actually consider this area right here. But I think if we break 120 with momentum, we are probably going to meet 111 pretty quickly, which again is going to provide another, I guess, maybe area of opportunity. But AMD is not looking too good, to be honest. I do have calls. I have July calls, I believe, for AMD, and I'm seriously considering selling them at a loss, obviously, because I just don't like this type of movement. I don't like this type of uncertainty on the movement, on lack of direction. This is not working out. So as far as I can tell, AMD is a no-go for me to the upside. I don't want to short it because this is looking very indecisive, all over the place, very choppy. Not a trade that I really want to participate on. I just mentioning this because it's at a very pivotal level in which 120 is our critical key level. If we break under that, again, I don't have much expectations other than going down towards 111. Now let's move on to Bitcoin. And let me take a note right here very quickly. Bitcoin also, last time I mentioned Bitcoin was on the 6th. So let's see what candle I was looking at. I was looking at this red candle actually, because it was forming already. And what I said prior to that was, and we had to break the 35 SMA, break resistance at 99 or 100 with momentum, which it did, but then it got rejected right away with momentum, even more momentum and volume, right after this break. And now we are moving down towards 92. If we break 92, hopefully we don't, but if we break 92, we're going to meet 86 pretty quickly. MACD and TSI are suggesting, I guess that's key, they are suggesting that we might actually break this level of support and actually go down towards 86. That would be unfortunate, but I also think that if we break 86, 77 is going to come quickly. There's no liquidity in this area, and that is worrisome. We had a very strong push right here back on towards the end of November, and then it left this area with very little liquidity. For now, I just want to take that chart as I see it. This level right here at 92, or well, 91 actually. Let me see. Yeah, 92 is critical. We go under this, and 86 is going to be our next stop. Unfortunate, but it could also hold just like it did here, and then maybe go back towards 100. We'll see how, what type of reaction we get tomorrow. Right now, Bitcoin is trading flat, but again, critical 92. And as I mentioned before, like this level is pretty strong, but if it breaks, it's gonna go down towards 86. Now let's talk about this name that I keep warning you, and I'm gonna warn you about it again, and that is Celsius. Now, I have nothing personally against Celsius. I have something against Celsius chart and against traders that keep recommending this stock as a buy. I think it's too soon. In my opinion, the price right now is very low, and if you are buying shares, it might be actually not such a bad idea to start a position on Celsius. If you are buying shares and you're planning to keep them for a couple of years, or maybe year and a half, who knows? If that is the case, then it might be a good idea, I guess, to buy some. I would just wait. But if you're trading options, and even if you have dated options, let's say September, October options, I would not touch this. And the reason for that is because you still don't have a defined trend to the stock. There were traders that had a lot of subscribers on X, like thousands of subscribers on X, and they were suggesting to buy Celsius in this area, buy Celsius here, but it's still getting rejected at some point, and that makes me uncomfortable. I do believe that the best point, especially if you're buying options, to buy to get into Celsius is once you break 35.7. I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm reiterating what I'm saying. I do think that once we break 65.7, which has been a critical resistance level, then you're probably going to start pushing a little bit harder, just like what MBLY was doing. MBLY actually in the last 2 days went down almost 30%, which is unfortunate. But the move to the upside was very steady once it broke resistance. I think if Celsius does the same and it shows more strength, I do believe that it would be a good idea or a good positioning getting at 677. I'm sorry, 35.77. 35.7. So that is my thesis on Celsius. Just be very, very mindful. I think that this might end up continue being choppy. We are not out of the woods as far as this level of support at 26.9 or 27. So be very careful with that. In my opinion, I would just let people buy what they want to buy. Again, if you're buying shares, that's a different story. But if you are thinking about options here, wait until you get the 35.7 area. Especially if you break that level of resistance. That is critical. That's what I have for HIMS. And let's talk about this name that I never talk about. I used to trade it back in the day, and that is FUBO. Now, this chart is crazy. So I think that FUBO had a deal with Disney, which was great. 682 million transactions. That's crazy. It went up on Monday at 251.39%. The following day, you went up 7.9%. That's an indication right there. And then the next day, which was Wednesday, it went up a merely 2%. Now, I'm going to be very brief with this name. I do think that this is going to crash quickly. There is definitely an opportunity here for a short position, and I might personally take advantage of it. It is pretty obvious. And now, can this run a little bit more? Can it get maybe 20 more percent, 30 more percent, even 50%? Yes, it can. It totally can. It's a cheap stock. It's very volatile, and there is volume compared to other days or other sessions. But I do think that this is going to fade, and when it fades, it's going to fade quickly. We have seen that in, I'll give you a good example, GOVX, that was running on news of the monkeypox vaccine, and it really went up very dramatically. You can see it right here, right on August. And then it dumped, and now you're in this situation again. FUBO is different sector for sure, obviously, but every time you see a parabolic move like this, it brings you an opportunity to short or to buy puts, and you just have to actually manage your risk. Everything that we see in quantum, for example, right here, is, and you probably can't see it because of the logo, but everything went down. You have ARQQ down 31%, IONQ down 39%. Let's go down to RJTI down 45%, a total disaster for quantum names. And in reality, I do think that it's worth being very, very mindful of your money and how you want to trade these positions, especially to the upside. Once you see this type of rallies, I would not risk my capital like this. Yet I do see, you do what you want to do, but I do see an opportunity to trade the opposite direction for this name. That's what I have for FUBO. Let's move on to this name I've been tracking, and that is GEV. Now, I wish the market was giving us more signals of direction to the upside. That's the only thing that is a bummer in this situation. However, if you take a look at the chart, this is looking fantastic. It broke resistance, it retested a couple of times, and even though it was half a point red on the day, I do think that this still have more juice to the upside. So you had a sell-off in the beginning, and then buyers came back in. Beautiful. That's a 5-minute chart. MACD and TSI are looking very, very nice. They are not showing indication of slowing down. Maybe the TSI, which is quite important, might be showing a little bit of slowing down, but it's maybe a little bit too early to tell. The RSI, however, is pointing down, not a very good sign. But I do believe that if buyers step in tomorrow, we are gonna see a very nice move next week. Again, I just want to say this one more time. The market is very choppy. There is a lot of indecision, in my opinion. I feel like not only 2018, but the way we were feeling at some point in September, I believe, of this last year. Anyways, let's move on to the next name, and that is HIMS. And this is a great representation of how the market is moving. And one of the things that I said, I think I mentioned this while I was mentioning HIMS in one of my videos, but in 2018, it felt like you were moving, you would have like a few green candles per se, and then you would have like a pretty big nasty red candle, and then you had a little bit of green, and then another nasty one, and the move was so slow to the upside, but it would destroy option accounts because of the dramatic moves to the downside, especially if you're trading to the upside. Now, HIMS is kind of showing that in a way. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. You're having days that are very positive, and then you have this pullback. This one was a 7% pullback. And don't be surprised, and maybe tomorrow you're retesting this level at 25.5, and then you move back up. That could be a possibility. But another thing that I'm seeing based upon what you see on the candles is that you're having this rejection on the 35 SMA. You're right on support at 25.5. Don't be surprised if you go back down towards 23.5. My range is still 21.7 to 29.21 or 29.7 as well. So that's a range that I'm having right now. I'm a little bit, well, I'm a little bit in the middle. You know, the distance between this area right here, 29.7, I'm sorry, 25.5 and 21 and 29 is very, very close. So I hate to say it, but it could go either way right now. I don't have any proclivity to think that it's going to go down or continue going up. I wish it goes up. I love to see stocks and people making money, especially on the way up. But for now, I think I would prefer being patient. I want to see how this behaves. I want to jump into HIMS, but I feel like the market in general, needs to, I guess, accommodate itself for traders like ourselves to actually get back in. I think at this point, it's probably a better option for anybody just to have as minimal or as little as possible as far as trades goes. Don't trade too much. Don't overtrade or anything like that. Just be mindful with your money, or if you can, just don't trade and take a look at how that the market is behaving. It might take maybe a week or so until we actually know if we are really pushing to the downside in general terms, as far as the NQ and as far as other indicators of the market, and or if we are actually going to have a continuation to the upside. For now, HIMS, if it breaks 25.5, this area right here, you're going to meet 23.7 and maybe 21.7, or 23.5, I'm sorry, and 21.7. MACD and TSI are not looking too good. They are actually telling you that there might be a continuation to the downside, but this level seems to be strong enough that might actually give us a surprise tomorrow. So that's what I think about HIMS. Now let's move down to Meta. And it's not looking bad, to be honest. I love the fact that it got this rebound on 603, which was a prior all-time high. Don't be surprised if you actually, let me move this, come down towards the 35 SMA or even towards this trend line or support at 575. That would be a gift. You have a double top over here, so don't be surprised. Don't be, if there's a continuation to the downside. But in general terms, I kind of like Meta. If it continues, I don't have a position in Meta, so if it continues to go down, I think 575 might be a good opportunity to actually enter back in. If that is the case, you're going to find yourself in this area somewhere around next Wednesday, in about a week or so, depending what kind of move we get tomorrow, of course. But I do think there might be an opportunity here. But as I just mentioned while I was talking about HIMS, we have to be patient and we just have to wait for the setups to come to us. It's not a good idea to push it or to really try to force any type of trading. And that is where you're going to lose money. That's where most of the times when I lose money is when I try to push myself to trade when there is really no reason to actually open a position. Anyways, that's what I have for Meta. I think there might be an opportunity, but your level at 603 is critical as far as support goes. The Max 7, I think, let's talk about this really quickly. Google wasn't too bad. It's not looking too bad, Amazon is really trying to get, to get some sort of direction, but it's also not bad. Apple, I think Apple is going to give us a beautiful setup once, or if it hits 237, there might be a move to the upside. Microsoft is looking very iffy. Nvidia, we'll see. Trump made some comments, I believe, today or yesterday about reversing what Biden said about exports of chips. So that might actually push the sector a little bit to the upside tomorrow. And Tesla is just right there. Tesla is doing Tesla. I think that 365 is a level to keep your eye on. And now let's take a look at where are you? I'm gonna close this video with NQ. It's not looking good. Right now is actually trading at minus 0.48. That's not good. I think that we are well on our way towards 21,000. That is not good. You break 21,000, and at that point, maybe we can start thinking we can be bearish for, I'm not saying for a while, but we can be bearish for a couple of weeks or so. But let's get there and let's see how things, behave in that area. I think this level 21,000 is critical. But yeah, I don't like how it's trading right now, honestly. And there's a little bit of momentum and volume. Not looking too good. So 21 is your area of support, and is very critical that we actually bounce out of that area. If not, you're probably gonna go straight towards 20.7. And well, if we break this area 20.7, things are not gonna look good at all by then. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. I will see you on probably Saturday. I'll make a video on Saturday. I don't do videos before on Fridays normally. That's all I have. Please subscribe and like the video. Other than that, be careful trading, and thank you. Bye bye.